Here's why specific hats and responsibilities in a relationship are so important.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about today on Couple Shit. Hello, I'm your host, Claude Racine.
I'm also your host, Noah Valinsky.
We have been married for 6 years, together for 10. And we're just here to talk about couple shit.
Yeah, man, we're trying to keep it raw, keep out of the bullshit, let you know we've been through lots of drama, struggles, all that, and we're not going to sit here and just sugarcoat a relationship for you like everybody else fucking does on the internet.
Now, I love that. And here's one of the things that is coming to the surface, I feel, in society in general, in our society, is the abundance of women turning into men and taking on the man role, right? And then men taking on the female role. Now,
this doesn't mean they're changing their sex.
No, I'm not talking about that.
With the surgeries, we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that.
Just so
talking
we're clear.
about women being in their masculine and men being in their feminine. Now, there's many different reasons for this, but we wanted to come on here today and tell you guys our story of how this happened in our relationship and how it affected our relationship and how we are now healing from it and coming out of it.
Yes. So it's like this very big what we were switched, and now we're at this process where we're going back to normal again. And it's
and normal is a weird word, but just so you guys...
Yeah, I guess it's a good point, because what is normal? Let's explain that while we're doing this. What should be normal?
Well,
we're going back into what should be regular in a relationship.
Yeah, and everyone's got different different like opinions, viewpoints, but we are coming from a very basic place of like what woman is meant to do and what man is meant to do per, let's say, the Bible, per
the original definition of man and woman and their responsibilities.
Right.
Not adding any kind of changes or aberrations, which society has done over countless centuries and situations and internet and whatever else that we've come up with to just completely change and fuck up the entire thing.
Right. So one of my big things is like, well, let's just tell the story. Let's tell the story of how this came about. So we're gonna rewind to about 3.5 years ago. Okay, we had our son almost 5 years ago, and
he's 4.5 now. Fuck.
Yeah, he's 4.5. When he was born, I had really bad postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and I was suicidal for a year, a little longer after he was born. Looking back, I see now that I just refused to step into the role of being a mom. I refused to be a woman. I refused to not be productive. I refused to not make money. I refused to just calm down, relax, and take on my role as a woman and a mom because that felt like anti-survival. I had been taught by whatever that I needed to make money to be valuable. That the only thing that, mattered in the world was that I was making money. For example,
you took on a man's role, and that's mostly what you did to survive. And then coming into a motherly role, you have to be the ultimate female.
Yeah.
And basically stopping anything that, was supposed to be was causing this huge fucking problem.
Yeah, because I'm literally being asked to now survive in a different way when survival to me for 38 years was a certain thing. It was work, hustle, make money, be the breadwinner. That was what survival meant to me. So now you're asking me to not do those things. You're asking me to be a mom. And not just that, but I grew up in an environment where that was disrespected on. Women were disrespected on, there was no value in just being a woman and being a mom. It was looked down on. And so I didn't want to be that. I remember fighting it so hard. I'm not going to be like every other mom, pushing my baby in my stroller and not working and going to the park. I'm going to be a working mom. It was deeply ingrained in my veins.
And to be fair, before Nova, she being like this, there was no issues. I had a job, she had a job, we were making money. There was no paths crossed in this area that we ever had to really crossed. Like there was nothing. Like everything was fine. The relationship was fine. The home life was fine. Money was fine. Like everything was good.
Yep.
There was no like internal, external issue until Nova was born.
Well, it started when I was pregnant, because when I was pregnant,
Okay.
I started to feel, because I couldn't work. Like, we were both professional dancers and choreographers. Yeah, I could have worked and like continued, but
Well, keep the baby safe, keep the situation, you know what I mean? First
Yeah.
child, and then it's like COVID happens. So we're in a lot of situations here where it's like, what are you going to
Yeah.
do? You're pregnant, just chill. Like
But
I
I
was
re-
working really, I was working a lot, so it's fine.
and I remember having the thought of like, I feel so useless right now. Mind you, I'm growing a baby in my stomach. That is the most useful job on this planet.
But the masculinity part of you before would make you feel like you're
Yes.
useless because you can't do any of those things that you're supposed to masculinity
Right.
wise.
Oh, I can't work. Like, I'm supposed to sit on the couch and chill, and like I just was not conditioned to behave this way. When my dad would call me asking me, you know, to say hi or whatever, I moved away from home when I was 20 to pursue a dance career. And when my dad would call me to talk to me, it was, are you making any money? Are you working? Are you happy? Are you healthy? You know, are you living a life that you're proud of? Those questions weren't asked. It was, are you making money?
Right, because in a man's world, like if a daughter is by herself, he wants to really know, are you safe?
Right.
And to him, those things keep you safe. You have a house, are you making money? You working, like stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas then the mother should come in and go, how are you feeling?
Right.
And,
my mom
and nurture
did.
all those things.
And my mom did. Like, she would always tell me, like, it's going to be fine. You know, how are you doing? She was never worried if I was working or was making money. My mom always knew everything was going to be okay, which I really respect and admire about her. Even like when my dad would lose his jobs, he didn't lose that many jobs. He lost one job. My mom was like, I didn't even worry for 1 second. I knew he was going to find something else because he's so smart and capable. I was like, wow, that's huge to have that kind of confidence and trust
Yeah.
in me and in him. So my mom did have that, but my whole life I was a daddy's girl, you know? He was the winner in my eyes. I admired him. I loved him. I wanted to be like him. And so he felt like the more powerful being
Yeah.
and so I wanted to feel like that. And I wanted to play sports like guys. I was in a band full with guys. I sang a very male dominated genre of music, which is post like metalcore. I was a screamer for a band. Like, I always wanted to do dude shit. So then I'm pregnant. It's like the most non-dude shit. And remember, I would always say, like, you're going to be the best mom and I'm going to be the best dad. Remember?
Yep. But it's funny because I grew up with all women. So I had
4 sisters.
4 sisters, my mom, and then my dad was always at work. And then however home life, and that's another story about how that went down. But the point is I was always really, really good with being around women and comfortable. Which I think too is a lot of the reasons why a lot of men are mama's boys. Because what happened with her and her dad is what a lot of men do with women, and they attach themselves to their mom. And then when they grow up, they realize they can't do that anymore. And then you've got this little baby back bitch of a man sitting there going,
We're not going to say bitch anymore because,
why?
well, it insinuates that a bitch, which is a female horse, is a female dog is weak. Just like, don't be a pussy. No, be a pussy, because that's the strongest
Yeah, but the pussy
thing on
comes
this
from
planet.
pusillanimous or whatever that word is, not from the actual pussy. Sorry, I don't know how to fucking pronounce it, but if you Google it, you find out
Pusillanimous.
pusillanimous or something, and that literally means weak. So
Or
like
you
that's
don't-
where it comes from, being a
or-
pussy. Just so we're clear,
or
ladies and everybody.
You don't have the balls. Balls are weak. Like, you just flick them and it's like, oh my God, my balls.
Yeah, but things are sayings and metaphors. They're not
Doesn't make
necessarily
sense.
based
The
on.
metaphor doesn't make sense. It is implying that balls are strong, that there is some kind of strength
I
in
mean,
a
you'd
ball
probably
sack.
fucking go down if I had a good bean flick.
No,
You never know.
no, a baby came out of there.
Yeah, but before
A
that,
baby came out of there beating it. It doesn't matter.
well, listen, maybe it hurts to break a nail. I don't know.
This is
Never
where
had
the
it.
conversation, the
The point-
change starts here.
The point is I grew up like with women, so it was easier for me to understand all that, and like I didn't have a problem around kids and babies and things. Like I love kids and I was used to it. So whereas she wasn't, she's got this like, I'm on my own, you know, spirit adventurer thing. And she's just living her life, you know, the way she wants to. So it was just kind of something that we understood was that it just kind of made sense to where I would be like that and she would be like that. Cut to it actually going down and her having the situation, the problem that she was in, that she went through. Postpartum, I literally had to step up and be the mom because she wanted to kill herself. And so it was Operation Keep Wife Alive and then Keep Baby This. I mean, she did amazing things. And Nova is amazing because of her still. And she is a gangster for fighting through the entire thing. But in the switch, it was like I had to become something. Somebody had to mom it up, right? So I was like the candidate. And then once that happened, it started to move into like, oh, this is okay. And then the dynamics started to just get deeper ingrained into I'm being mom and her pushing into that masculine because that allowed her to feel safe. And then the only thing that was good for her at that time was to feel safe. And that's what we wanted.
But it got really bad when I started my online business from home. And Nova at this point was a year old. So a year had gone by. I started a direct sales business. And Noah's still like in the entertainment industry trying to dance or act. So when you're in that world, you don't necessarily have a job every day. You show up when there's an audition.
And I'm auditioning online, so it's like I'm at home.
Right. So I knew that I had to put some time in towards building this business. And I remember I was like, I'm going to need you to watch Nova in the morning for a couple hours while I work and like do shit towards my business. 2 hours turned into 4 hours, turned into him having to like feed Nova his lunch, put him down for his nap. He would go grocery shopping. He would clean. So basically he took on, and some of you may get offended by this, but those are motherly roles. Those are a wife's role to do that. The man is built to provide. The man is built to go out and hunt. And here's an example of why you cannot fight me on this.
Good, because I got something to say about that thing you just said, which is awesome too. So go ahead.
Because if 5 guys come walking up to my house right now with guns, do you think I'm going to run out there with my gun and go, hey, babe, don't worry, I got this?
Some of you like gun-toting women out there will be like, yeah, but it's fucking pretty masculine. That's
That's
regardless.
masculine.
Good for you.
I can protect myself. I do learn how to shoot a gun. I have trained jujitsu self-development. I can, if need be, like when he leaves, okay, I will protect my son.
Yeah, we bought her a
Do
gun.
I want to, and should I, as the woman of the relationship? No. That I'm going to be like, babe, you got this. Same if you were to, would you drop off your kid at a daycare run by a bunch of dudes?
I love that. I would never.
What's his name said it?
Jordan Peterson? No.
No. I always forget his name. I want to give him credit. I forget his name. He's very popular, and he talks about a lot of these roles, women's roles, and he said, he's like, would you trust your kids at a daycare run by 10 dudes? And the answer is no. And you also wouldn't be like, hey, women, and 10 of them, go defend those 10 gunslingers out there. So if that doesn't make sense, then you have to take it back all the way back to the basic of like, what are we here to actually do? Which is to breathe life into men, support them so that they can excel to their biggest role. Because without us, they cannot.
It's the truth. Like, we can get really fucking far. But you look at any story in history, and there's always a smart, capable woman right behind that man who is successful. We can reach heights by ourselves that, like, you couldn't even imagine. But the heights that we could reach with another woman, especially a smart, capable woman,
well, one that has like, confidence in you, one that trusts you, one that believes in you.
That is doing all that.
And we are the nurturers. Like,
yeah, it's what you're supposed to do. Like, I could sit here and go to war and kill, I don't know how many people and come back, and like a woman's touch is going to make me feel better. Like, I don't give a fuck what other man is out there that says it. Now, I haven't been to war, I haven't killed anybody or anything like that, but I swear to God, I'll still stand by the statement. Anything can happen to me or my life, and I'd come back and my wife would put her hand on me and I'd be like, for that second, I'd be okay. Like,
and women
that's power.
Feel a lot better and we can relax into our feminine if the man is fucking doing his job and going out there and providing, keeping the house safe, providing the home. Like, that's when we can really relax and be like, he's got this. There's a reason why it takes a fucking penis and a vagina to create a kid, because you do need both. That's the way it was motherfucking designed. And since women, when we are in our later pregnancy and when we are first raising a newborn, we can't work. So guess what? Somebody has to be designed to do that, and that's the man. So you can't say, well, in that instant, that makes sense. It makes sense across the board.
Yeah, and like I was going to say earlier, if you have back in the day, like let's say cavemen or something like that, and literally a dude is like tending to womanly duties, his back is turned. That village is getting attacked. Some animal's coming in, he can't protect it. And then what happens? He puts the whole village at risk because he was doing something that had his back turned or had his attention somewhere else. He should not be doing somebody else's job. He should be doing his job, and he should be really good at his job. Men should be very, very good at providing and protecting. And that just goes into show that a lot of men that are out there are not. I saw a video of some guy hanging from a fucking lift, hanging there. One pull-up will save your life. One. You couldn't do one fucking pull-up, okay?
Like if you can't,
if you can't provide that job, protect
right.
for women, like
you're literally built and designed to be stronger than us for a reason. I'm not trying to be stronger than a dude. I don't want to be. I tried to be for so long and I got sick. Women, listen to me. If you are trying to be the man and to do this and to hustle and to go, go, go and pow, pow, pow and protect and I'm a dude too, you will. Your body cannot handle it. You will
guys
get
can't
an
handle the
autoimmune.
stress, right?
We're not built to handle that burden.
We're supposed to. We can. We're literally built it.
Like there's an inflammation marker out there. By the way, if you don't know, I'm a functional nutritionist. I help women lose weight and balance their hormones, fucking heal their gut. There's an inflammation marker called CRP. Okay, mine is at 0.1. His is at 12. You cannot tell on his outer body that he's dealing with inflammation. A woman's body with inflammation that high would not look like this. You wouldn't be sleeping. You would be puffy. You would be sick. You would be overweight.
And a lot of the times, what the inflammation can be caused by stress, obviously.
That's it.
Nutrition,
you can worry about something and cause stress in your body. Inflammation.
And I do fitness and nutrition as well, and I help other men with the things we're talking about. And if you're kind of not feeling the way you should as a man, call me. Let's work on that. But the point is like, I'm sitting here working on all this stuff, and you can't see fucking shit. And I have high inflammation, and it could be stress, it could be whatever. But like, you're never going to see a goddamn thing on me.
But our bodies are built to create, sustain life. So when there's something wrong with it, their warning signs come on. Like, where a man is made to go through war and handle pain. And I mean, we are made to handle much more pain through birth. But it's different. It's they can handle it repeatedly, day in and day out, because that's what they're built to do. So what's happening in society now is you've got all these women being like, I am woman, hear me roar. I can do your job. I don't need a man.
Not to disgruntle any women out there or something like that, but any woman like that, not a real man that is doing his manly things, his manly duties, a respectable man doesn't want that. He wants a woman, an alpha woman for sure, but like none of the ones that are yelling and screaming out there and like, look at me. Like, I don't ever want that.
It's so selfish to think like that, because there is a man out there that needs your love. There is a man out there that needs your essence, your joy, that needs your nurturing. So it's not even about you. I don't need a man. Yes, you fucking do. And if you want kids, and if you want to expand, and if you want to grow as a woman, you need a man, and a man needs you. That's just the way that it's made, right? So if you're like, I don't need no man, you're keeping your beauty from a man who needs it to grow to his potential. Like, we can't do it without each other. I have to, and the more I took on the man role and the more he took on the woman's role, the weirder shit got.
It got fucking weird.
I started to disrespect him because that's just not the way it's designed to do. Ladies, we're not here to retire our husbands. We're here to support them.
And I started feeling all weird. Like I was like, I don't want to say a little bitch, but like I literally felt like that. Like I was
useless.
like, yeah, or like I got in touch with these emotions that I'm not supposed to be like letting control me. Right. And so now these emotions are controlling me so that now it's like I'm being so what's happening is instead of this man, you know, not that this is a level, but just like a man is supposed to be this thing. And then the woman kind of starts to take that and then the man kind of subsides and I become like this. And then I'm not a man anymore. And then what does that do to men? The suicide rate is higher with men than it is with women. What are you going to do if you're sitting there as a man like this? And then what happens most of the time? Your woman will fucking leave you and she will find another man that is not like that. I'm sorry. And that's one of the things I definitely worried about because it was happening to me. And I was like, and you know, not that I know that it was happening, but like I felt like it was happening. Like I'm like sitting there becoming this thing that I wasn't before. And now I'm not this pillar. Now I'm not this protector. Now I'm not this provider. And it's like I literally can't do it. No matter how much I try to get out there and live life and provide and make money, it was like the world was stopping me because I was too in this feminine role that I shouldn't even fucking be in the first place. I shouldn't even put my foot in to see what the temperature was. And I was immersed in it. How can I even be myself? I couldn't do that. Just like she was talking about in her stress levels. Like she couldn't be... Like, it just screws us up. And we were completely screwed up.
Because I was taking on the man role and you know, I was the breadwinner. I was making all the money. I was, you know.
Because that's how it turned into that.
Right. Like my business, because I kept asking for more and more time and I was putting more and more energy and like, you know, more importance in my business than like being with my husband, than being a wife to my husband, than being a mom to my son. My business took precedence. Like I was literally so in my masculine. I wasn't even in my body. I wasn't even in here. I was on automatic. And a woman, the beauty of what we are is our intuition, our fluidity, our grace, our flow, our joy, right? We operate from a heart space. And when you're in your masculine, you operate from a head space. Oh my God. How am I going to keep this up with my business? How am I going to beat last month? How am I going to keep making this much money? And it's really fun when it's going well. Because as an overachiever and as a producer person, right? Like I'm producing and I'm making a lot of money, it feels good until you burn out. And that's what happens to women. You go, and you're like, yeah. And then you burn out and then you get sick and then you have thyroid problems and you get an autoimmune or cancer and you're like, what happened? You disconnected from your heart space. If I was really to sit back in that time and operate from intuition and a heart space, I would have seen what you needed from me, which was my presence.
Yeah.
Which was me to disconnect from the business and be more with you.
Right, which led to arguments because I would ask for that.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I have to make money. Because now I'm looking at my husband like when he wants to go travel or wants to take time off. And I'm like, that's nice for you, but someone's got to make the money. That was the way I operated in my head, not seeing how I was fueling the fire. Because ladies, the secret is you can do much less, lead from intuition, be in your heart space, support your husband, and still make the same, if not more money.
You probably end up making more money. To be honest
did end
with
up.
you. Yeah, and then the more she lets go, the literally like the weight that is off me. And then when she started figuring this out, I started making immediately more money because all the efforts that I was doing, putting toward this thing, it was like there was a dam and now there's not. And so now I can be who I'm supposed to fucking be, which is a man and provide and do all these other things. And nobody's fighting me right here at home. So I can go. It's like, you know what I mean? Doors are open, free, no bars. Go live your life. You're free. If not, before then, it was jail time, whatever you did, whatever you said, because somebody had to do the role of being the parent or being the mother in that aspect. And it was like, And if she slips up, then I got to do that. And that takes away from me doing my job. And it's like, you literally can't, I can't take somebody, an airline mechanic, and have him just go be a veterinarian. And then a veterinarian fix an airplane. Like, the airplane would go down in flames and that dog would die. Like, it would just, that's the way it would happen. You would never, it would never, nobody be like, oh, well, this kind of works on a plane. I could make this work here. No, does not. It'll completely fail. It will fuck up everything. And that's what happened to us. Now on the other side of it.
There are responsibilities that we have been gifted with.
Yes, both
as women
sides.
and as men.
Yeah.
And the more we disconnect from that and the more we think, oh, this is different now. Women, can do it on their own and they can work. And it's like, listen, when he leaves, I do all of this by myself. I wake up, I feed my son, I make his lunch, I take him to school. I make 10 G's in a day. I go pick him up. I go work out. I go do yoga. I take a shower. I put him to bed. I make dinner. I clean dishes. I do it all because we can. As women, we can. And then I'd pick up my gun if somebody dared come in my house and I would shoot that guy. Yes, I would. Does it mean that we should? No.
Shouldn't have to.
It's not even we shouldn't have to. We should choose not to.
Well, you shouldn't have to. And right now you should choose, like, not to.
Right.
And have somebody around there. Like, we were at a coffee shop, and literally she looked at me and goes, if you were not here, every single man that is in this place, I wouldn't trust to protect me. Like you need to understand that, ladies and gentlemen. That's fucked up. Like, you should walk as a woman into a place and feel safe. Like, if there's danger outside, the place that you walk into should feel safe. That's why you run from somebody into a place, so that there's somebody there to protect you. It's our job. And if you're not capable as a man,
but
you're literally causing a problem.
We have to let them
yes.
do that job.
You have to promote them.
The more these women are like, look at me, I'm strong, I'm a man, I got this. You're taking a man's job away. Now they're softening. Now they're like, well, women these days, they got it all. I don't need to do shit. And they don't. And they're on the mom's tit for way too long. And then they expect a new mommy to do everything.
Well, it re-stimulates that. Like, if you think about it, like, if a woman is taking that role at one point was the mom. Hey, my mom's got this. She's got, you know what I mean? And then she, like, it almost like takes that role from when they were little and puts it into a place now. And then he goes, oh, this was safety. So I feel comfortable here. So this is how I'm going to act with this woman. Mm-hmm. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So subconsciously, you're going from what was safe when you were younger, because a woman is now acting masculine in that form, because your mother did at one point in time, whether your dad was there, most dads leave, or they're just not there physically, or the mom's more around because they're nurturing the child. But that's her job at that moment. Then it's the dad at a certain moment to take over and then make that little dude a man. And so, once again, as a man, you don't get that. And then the woman becomes masculine. And then you're like, oh, I remember mommy again. Look where I am. And then you become this little fucking mama's boy to the woman. And then what do you expect?
But also, like, women who are in their masculine, there's something that happened in our childhood that made us feel not safe being a woman.
Yeah, I remember when you went through something like that and you had a big realization. And you're like,
it's
that's
like
why
not
I've been
safe
doing
to
this.
be a woman, not safe to feel as a woman feels. Like, it's not safe to have big emotions, because when my mom does, my dad makes fun of it. When I do, my dad gets mad at me. So it's not safe to be a woman. Or it's not safe to have boobs because that man over there is looking at me weird. I've been groped so many times by strange men. In the dance industry, I've been asked to sleep with men, to do things. And I'm like, it doesn't feel safe being a woman. I can't walk down the street. I can't go to the grocery store in the middle of the day without looking at my surroundings, right? So you're constantly in this unsafe body. And so we learn to disconnect and we learn to turn into these masculine women constantly trying to protect us. And, we could talk about like chicken or the egg. Oh, well, men are weak, so that's why women are becoming masculine. Or women are becoming masculine because
No, I'm going to say it. It's literally society that is creating this situation that we're in and trying to empower the woman into the masculine role. Women should be empowered 1,000%, not into the masculine role. And then you got less men being masculine. Guys, like kids used to lie about their age to go to war, to protect their country, to be a man.
Yeah.
You can't get a kid out of a pair of Crocs right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? If war had to go down, even right now, with some of the shit that's going on, like I'd have to be able to protect my family, and I fucking can. And I train for it.
All men should be able to, at the very least, protect your family. And if you're not in physical shape to protect your family physically, you're fucking up. And if you're trying to retire your husband as a woman, you're fucking up because you're taking away the basis of his morale, which is production. That's what a man's basis of morale is, production. A man does need to produce. A woman, no. A woman gets to wake up and just be. And the power of femininity is that we attract, we do not chase. Let the men chase. They are built for that. They have more muscle because of that. Like, we have boobs. Like, it's all designed a specific way. And before we go, these are meant to, like, keep a baby alive.
And me sometimes.
Before we go, I do want to say, here is what we did.
Yes.
To begin the journey of, like, let's get out of me wearing the dad hat and the man hat, and let's give it back to you, and let's have me take back the mom hat. And I was in Florida at our church, and I remember in February is when I actually accepted being a woman. I was no longer ashamed to be a woman. I was no longer feeling like, oh, it's weak to be a woman. I fully was like, I'm proud to be a woman. I accept being a woman, which was huge. And then I realized what I was doing, you know, by being a man and da-da-da. So I call my husband. I'm like, when I get home, I'm going to take back some of these duties that I placed on you. Because in my mind, I'm like, if I'm going to be making all the money, then I'm not cleaning dishes. I'm not grocery shopping.
Sense.
I'm not, you're going to do that, you know?
And I don't want to do that. It's not my fucking job.
So I was like, I'm going to make breakfast for Nova. I'm going to make his lunch. I'm going to take him to school. I'm going to pick him up from school. Not every day, you know, because there's still some things that I want to do.
I like picking up Nova. Like, I don't, you know, it's fun. Like when you get your parents to pick you up.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll grocery shop. Like, I make a little grocery list. That's, you know, a woman makes a house a home. A woman makes groceries a meal into a meal, right? Like this, we elevate everything that's handed to us. We make it better.
And when she's told me that and then started acting like that, guys, I've never made more money so fast. Like immediately, everything was easier. I was less stressed out. Like my whole life felt like this burden and this stone was lifted from me and these chains that I didn't even know were there. It was wild. And I could just be me. And I was like, fuck. And it was the most epic thing in the entire world.
Yeah. And it was just a decision of me to like, let me take back some of my, female, womanly, motherly responsibilities so that you can do you. And it was scary as fuck, ladies. Yes, it was. It did not feel good. I remember the first time I went to the grocery store and I came home with Nova and I was crying because normally I would be working and I felt a lot of things. And I didn't want to let go of that control.
But you know what too? It's hard for me to let go of my control. Because I had my head up her ass. Like, are you okay? Is Nova okay? How is everybody doing? Like mom shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know she's okay. She's fine. Like, I know that because she's fine because that's her job to be fine and do that job. Whereas in before, I was doing all the things. So when she got to it, or she would do it in the past, I'd be like, she's fucking that up. Like, but she wasn't doing
And
it.
that's the thing is like Noah has more of these feminine qualities. He grew up around 4 women. So like he likes to clean. He is like the vacuum monster.
Listen, I like to.
You like to have a clean space.
I like to have a clean space, and I'm a
He's
vacuum monster because we have a
organized.
toddler, and I've like, when you step on shit in your feet in your home, you're like, oh my God. I just pull out the shark and I fucking vacuum real quick. And
Like not
that's
many
it.
men are like that.
Yeah,
okay?
like you
Not
should
ma-
be clean as a man. You should take care of yourself. You should smell good. You shouldn't be a fat piece of shit. Like that's, as a man, like those are pretty normal things.
Yeah.
A woman shouldn't walk to your house and have your piss all over your seat. Like get over yourself. Your bathroom seat, you have piss. Like lament, be cleaner. Okay? Start there. She liked me in the beginning because she went to my apartment and was like, holy shit, this guy cooked me food and he's clean.
But a man can do more of what he can do if we are supporting
Right.
and like, taking care of the children and making the meals. And it's not to say that he's never going to give Nova a bath or he doesn't ever put him down. Like
No.
we share those responsibilities. Kids are both of our responsibilities.
Yes.
But women get to just attract, and I'm just going to keep saying that. And we get to be and live from heart space. And the minute you jump up into head space, like, how are we going to afford this? He needs to figure that out. And if you're pregnant, you have a newborn, and you're like, I need to get back to work. No. The man needs to step up in that situation
And men,
and provide so that you can relax and be a mother.
you need to do your fucking job so that they can be those things. Otherwise, they won't be any of those things, and they will retract into the bullshit, and then that's the type of relationship you're going to have. And that's where cheating gets involved, arguments, resentment, all the things you look at on the internet. Everything you see right now, you're going to look at some couples shit, and you're going to see that that's all it is. And the real reason behind it all is because y'all are not doing your jobs or doing the other person's job.
Yeah.
And
And that's
that's gonna
both
fucking-
women and men.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like
It's both
Right.
of our responsibilities to make changes, not like, well, if he would do this, then I could do that. No, because also if I would do this, then he could do that. So together we have to like,
it's a simple cause and effect. It's
Yeah.
That's all it is. So if you guys are understanding everything that we're saying and how we went from really kind of having it the wrong way into crossing this path, which is really hard. It was like strangling a dolphin.
yeah, it sucked.
And it sucked. And there was fighting and there was this. It was just, but the point is we knew what our goals were and what we wanted to do. And we're still even getting better at that. And once it's on the other end of shit, like there's nothing but success and happiness.
And like another way that that this is a real thing, like we can't just choose to like fuck with God's design, is even if you're looking at like a homosexual relationship, there is always someone that is more masculine and someone who's more feminine. Because there needs to be both energies. So this isn't just like a heterosexual relationship, right? But if you notice, even in 2 women together, there always has to be both energies. And so if you are in a heterosexual relationship, then it's easy to just assume your role.
But you should
You're
be
the
easy.
woman.
You're
You're
the
the man, right? So it's just anything that's keeping you or deviating you from being okay with that is trauma. It's aberration. Because the way that we're designed is the way that we're fucking designed. And when you start fucking with that, shit gets weird. And please, if you disagree with me, like put it in the comments.
Talk some shit. We don't
Tell
care.
us your thoughts.
It's literally like what she's saying is putting a triangle wheel on a car.
You could try to fight it as much as you want. I did. Oh, no, this is working for us. It's not.
It's not. We're very strong and hard-headed people in general, and we're going to make anything work because we're not going to give up and we're not going to quit. So it seemed like it was okay.
Yeah.
But was it really okay?
No.
No, because this is way better.
Like,
Way
ladies,
better.
our most important jobs is to breathe love and life into everything on this earth. That's what we do. So if your business stresses you out, if you're in your masculine and you're like tough and you don't feel very relaxed, at peace, you don't allow yourself to experience joy and lead with intuition, and you don't even know what your desires are, if that channel is cut off, you're helping to like destroy humanity. And when I realized that, it didn't take very long for me to just simmer down and add to the world and add to my relationship what I knew would help it grow, not destroy it. That's it.
Yeah.
I forgot to say also, you guys, hit subscribe if you like this episode. Also, thumbs up. If you
We've
want
talked
more
about it before.
Koko
It's
shit.
not really a thumb, but
It's a thumb.
it's like she got mad at a stamp.
You have a thing in 3 minutes.
You have a thing in 3 minutes.
I sure do.
We have
Anyways,
things in 3 minutes.
you guys, thank you for joining us. I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments in the comment box. Let us know your thoughts, agree or disagree. It's all good.
Yeah, we're with it. Just do something.
Yeah. And thanks for watching Couple Shit. We'll see you next week for another episode.
Later.
Bye.